Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and Kabam released some big news today, so I'm going to go ahead and read the post to you, but it says, Summoners, many of you have been patiently awaiting the results of the 7.2 Legends runs and the prizes that come along with the titles. In recent months, we've made great strides in identifying summoners that did not play this content legitimately or had others play the content for them, commonly referred to as using mercs. As a part of this, we made it very clear that the use of a VPN is not to be allowed in 7.2 Legends runs. However, every time we make progress in detecting this behavior or adds restrictions to uphold the fairness of the contest, players that do not play the content in the manner that it is meant to be played find new ways to circumvent or confuse our methods. Using third-party software and mercs not only cheapens the skills and work that players that do not cheat put into achieving their titles and beating difficult content, it detracts from the spirit of the competitions the Legends program was designed to instill. While we can be fairly confident that we are identifying and catching all of these players, this is a manual process that takes us hundreds of hours to complete, and there are some outliers where we are suspicious that illegitimate behavior took place but cannot be 100% certain. For the 7.2 Legends runs, we found many summoners that seem to have taken a trip to another area of the world before reappearing at their original location. While we're fairly certain that this is not the case, it would be an awfully big coincidence that these summoners were taking trips and completing their Legends runs while away. We cannot prove that this didn't happen with 100% certainty and cannot act on it because of this. As a result, we are no longer confident that we can continue the Legends program as it currently exists and have made the difficult decision to suspend the Act-specific Legends runs program moving forward. The monthly Event Quest Legends run program will continue unchanged. We spent quite some time on the 7.2 Legends list and are happy with where we have landed with it. We expect to have the list this list out soon and to reward the players that made it to the top. In addition, we are expanding the list to 125 players. We are exploring new ways in which we can deliver Mythic and Legends titles as well as Wolverine Weapon X, but do not have anything to share at this time. We hope to be able to do a Legends program again in the future and are sad that we had to make a decision like this. However, when creating and running an extremely competitive program of this nature, we need to be sure that those who are playing legitimately are the ones being rewarded and not the client of a merc. Thank you for your understanding, the Mcoc game team. And okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about this. So number one, unfortunately, I do think that this was probably the right decision because there are a lot of people using those services out there. There have been a number of mercs, as you call them, who actually had the audacity to, out themselves. But okay. Now, here's the thing, is Kabam is working and they're trying really hard to ban the mercs and to ban the bots, and because there's a lot of that problem in the game, right? And here's the thing too, is this is where I have an issue, is everyone always talks about the mercs, and yeah, they should be banned, but also the clientele, because if the clientele didn't exist, then the mercs wouldn't exist. So shame on all of you for using those services in order to try to get ahead. If you're not that great, guess what? Neither am I. And I still push my way through it, So you got to use some items. Here and there. So be it. But this is the problem, is when you use those types of services, it does cheapen the game for the rest of the players who try to beat that content legitimately. So, you've got that. And I understand people are saying, well, how hard can it be to detect? Well, it can actually be pretty hard to detect these people. And, it sucks that it had to come to this. It really does. But I do think until measures can be put into the game, which honestly, until measures can be put into the game, let me try to finish this sentence here. Until measures can be put into the game that would prevent it, then things like this, there's always going to be the cheaters and the hackers, right? So And trying to stay one step ahead of them is like pushing a giant boulder up a hill and they're just carrying a small rock. So it's not the easiest thing to circumvent. I know probably a lot of people think that it's easy as 1, 2, 3, but it's really not. And I learned a lot about this recently. So, but it's one of those things, right? It always comes back to this. It doesn't matter what game you play. It's always going to be an uphill battle between the developers of the game and the hackers and the cheaters and the mercs or what have you, right? They're always going to stay one step ahead of Kabam. Now, unfortunately, because of this, it has led to taking away of the Legends runs, which is right. So you don't get the titles, you don't get the rewards that go along with it, and you don't get that awesome Weapon X. So that sucks. But, you know, it would be cool if they could add that in somewhere else. Now, I had put out a video like a week ago, I think, something like that. I'll put the link into the description of this video about, you know, potential ways that they could stop it. Number one, they could have a primary register device, right? So anytime you want to do a Legends run, you give it, I don't know, like a day or two, right? 2 days. 2 days, you register that device. Then you cannot do that. You cannot do the Legends run on any other device. That kind of solves that problem. And I know some people are going to say, well, what about face recognition? Really? You want to do a face recognition every time you want to log into the game? I don't think so. That would get annoying AF. So you could do that. Some people have said, you know, 2FA, two-factor authentication. That doesn't work. And here's why it doesn't work, in case you missed the last video. Two-factor authentication doesn't work because all you have to do is send that code or PIN or what have you to the person who is playing your account, and boom, they're in. So 2FA, not going to work in this matter. So yeah, you could have a primary register device. That is probably the best bet to go around, right? You link your game center or something like that, and it's to that device. That's probably the best way that you could go about this. Honestly, outside of that, I really don't know how Kabam is ever going to fully curb it, because you have so many people out there who just don't want to play the game themselves, that want that title, that want that, you know, those sweet digital trinkets to go along with it. And, you know, shame on all of them for having to cheat to beat a game, because that's just it. It's just a game. Yeah, it's a game that some people have spent hundreds and thousands upon thousands of dollars on, right? But not, I mean, I've spent hundreds of dollars. I've probably spent a couple thousand. But to me, it's just a game. So I would, you know, like, I wouldn't hire someone to play my account for me. Plus, I'm pretty sure Kabam would figure that out really quickly anyways. But just play it. Just play the game. Play your own account. Because a lot of people are going to say that the mercs win. The people who, the clients of the mercs win because of this. And that's a really sad way to look at it. Honestly, this was kind of the only thing Kabam had left to do for right now, as how I see it. And you can argue with me, well, they could have taken other measures and this, that, and the other, but it takes hundreds upon hundreds of hours to do that. Now, you could also say, well, if you want to do a Legends run, you got to live stream it, right? You got to live stream it so that way we can tell it's you. So, I mean, they could also do that, but then you have people who maybe don't have things set up for a live stream, right? They don't have an Elgato. They don't want to do screen mirroring because, like, screen mirroring really is laggy for me. You know, there's just, so then you would be removing another group of people. So I think having a primary registered device is probably the best way to go to maybe prevent this from happening. So it wouldn't necessarily stop all of them, but it would probably stop a good portion of them. And the more and more that you can weed out, the better it is for everyone. But the moral of the story here, kids, is just play the game yourself. Don't hire somebody. Don't pay someone else to play your account, because where is the fun in that for you? Where is the accomplishment of beating the Act 6 champion boss? Where is the kind of just like pat on your back where you're like, I finally beat this? Like, I struggled, right? Everyone saw my Abyss stream. I struggled. Everyone saw my champion fight. I struggled. But you know what? When I got through it, I was like, heck yeah. Like, that's a good sense of accomplishment. So play your own game. That's all I'm saying. So then we can have things like Legends runs, and we can have things like, you know, the Mythic and Legends titles, because otherwise it takes stuff like that away. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Sorry it was kind of long-winded. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this news that Kabam dropped? Do you think they made the right decision, or do you think they should have done something else? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully, not mediocre. Katy!